Hello everyone, welcome back to the Tech Sharmit Podcast. Today I'm here with another special guest, Deepthi Goguri, who is joining us today from United States. Deepthi is a well-known SQL Server expert, Microsoft most valuable professional, and a passionate community advocate. With her deep knowledge of SQL Server and a commitment to sharing her expertise, she has made a significant contributions to the tech world, particularly in the realms of database administration and data management. So today in this episode, we will dive into Deepti's career, her involvement with the community, and her advocacy for the diversity and inclusion in the tech space. But before we start the discussion, I would like to thank Deepthi for joining us today in this episode. And now I request you to please initiate the discussion by telling us something about yourself.
First of all, I would like to thank you, Sharmit, for inviting me for this podcast. It's an honor to be here. Myself, I'm Deepthi Goguri. Like Sharmit mentioned, I'm a database administrator since beginning of my career. It's been like 8 years being a DBA. So I came to United States in 2010 to do my master's degree in computer technology. So while I was doing my master's in computer technology, I had a course, SQL Server course, which is a core course, and I fell in love with SQL Server at that point in time. And I thought to learn more because in those subjects we always learn the content which is already static in the books, but I wanted to explore more on what's going on currently with the SQL Server and what's going on everywhere. And I wanted to learn more basically. So that's how I ended up loving SQL Server more. And I thought like DBA is my world, and I thought to be a database administrator. And yeah, I'm pursuing that career. And while I was doing that, I have been recognized by Microsoft for the most valuable professional award, just like you, Sharmit, 2 years ago. And it's a wonderful journey. Not about the award itself, but the journey comes with it, the people that you meet, and the lives that you touch. That what makes a difference.
Yes. So with your so far experience, like you have achieved so many things in your life. So I just want to know like what were those defining moments for you in your career that made you passionate about the SQL Server?
First of all, I did not achieve so many things in my life. It's nothing. I mean, like the amount of things that wanted to achieve, there is no end to it. So I don't believe in achievements at all. It has to come naturally while you are doing what you love. So not that I wanted to say against what you said, but I think that is a natural process that have to happen. And the defining moment is something interesting with me because um, I was after my 10th standard, I my love for mathematics was I used to love mathematics. I used to do very good at my school. Um, and I took mathematics as my major in my 11th and 12th standards so that all the international people can understand. In India, it's called intermediate, which is like 11th and 12th standard. So I got a very good rank to enter into a good uh, technology field like a BTech or like any computer degree course, which I was dreaming of it. But then my dad wanted me to do pharmacy because he thought that he listened to his friends who did pharmacy, and he thought like I will have great career once I move to United States. He was dreaming that I'll one day end up in United States and do pharmacy again, do masters in pharmacy, and then end up with a very good career, gaining so much of money annually. But that was not my intention. But because of his dream, I made it as my dream. But I never liked it. I mean, like when you think about you know what you want, right? So I that was a wrong decision. I would have convinced him more, but I tried, but it didn't work. So I somehow did my bachelor's in pharmacy, so I'm a pharmacist. But then I never liked chemistry in the first place, so that's how I finally thought like I have to come to United States and somehow I have to change, because if I stay in India, there is very less chance of me changing my entire major. It's very less chance. Like
Yeah.
there are no way to do it. But in United States, that's not the way. It's open to everybody. Everybody can choose what they love, and then that's how I. It's a hard process to change to the uh, technology field, doing masters directly without having a bachelor's knowledge in computers. It was a very tough decision, but my heart wanted it, so I did it.
Okay, your journey sounds very interesting. So we wanted to know more about it. Okay, so let's start with your expertise. So can you please walk us through the process of administering the SQL Server, because this is one of your core advocacy activity. So what do you think? Like, what are some of the most common challenges DBA might face while they are doing this, while they are implementing this process? And personally, like, how do you tackle those challenges or the roadblockers?
That's a very great question. So, database administration is all about taking care of your databases. If you are hosting your databases on SQL servers, to be put in a simple words, right? So we need to make sure as a DA that all the databases hosted on SQL servers are available 24 by 7, because applications that we have in this universe, in this world, are all like 24 by 7 needs to be available, because applications are active all the time, right? There are customers, international customers trying to access your application all the time. So that's the number one goal. And that is one of the reasons we have as a DBA, we have on-call rotations where we need to be available 24 by 7 during our on-call schedules. Where like some of the challenges, as you mentioned, might be like one of the application that the behind the scenes, the SQL Server is hosting their databases, right? Something happens, some user clicked on the application and it wrote an error, for error, or like it can throw any error. So when those errors happens, it can be any reason. It can be the network issue, it can be the server issue itself, or it can be the database issue. So finding out, that's where the ticketing system comes in place, where they create a ticket for the service desk, and service desk knows where to send those tickets to, and that's how they, if they can't figure it out, they will definitely approach the DBAs, database administrators, because um, finally the applicant have to touch the database, right? So they
Yeah,
will be approaching us, and it's up to us to figure out what is going on with the database, and like what is it, the query that the application is running, is it slowly performing, and it was running fine before, but now suddenly broke, like what's going on? So it's up to us to go ahead and figure out all of that.
correct.
Ultimately, we need to make sure the database is available, application is up and running all the time. Of course, application administrators take care from the application perspective, but as a DBA, database administrator perspective, we need to make sure databases are available all the time online, as well as we are upgrading the databases to the latest versions of SQL Server. That's one of the things. So when we talk about databases, there might be several reasons that the data center can get down where our database is hosted. So in those scenarios, how do we make sure we have multiple copies of the database? It's right. So in that scenario, that's where we have these high availability and disaster recovery situations where we spread out the database across the world through different data centers. Depending upon where your business is, we spread out the databases. We have multiple copies so that if one database, for example, if there is a hurricane or something, and if there
Mhm.
are heavy rains, database goes down, the other database needs to be available within fraction of seconds without downtime. So that's the reason why we have these data centers in multiple places, and we spread out the database multiple copies. Doesn't mean that we have multiple copies. If the database is updated in one location, it needs to be also be updated in another location. User will always be connected to one database, but through these technologies that the database administration handles, high availability and disaster recovery situations, where the data, once it gets inserted into that database, it is automatically gets updated to those multiple secondary locations automatically. So we need to make sure those technologies are working 24/7 as well. So it's a big job. It's a big job because
Correct.
we are the people who handle the databases all the time, and I love my job.
Okay. With this explanation, I'm pretty much sure that those who are not even from this background, from DBA background, they can understand like how responsibility, like how much responsibilities are there for DBAs to manage all those data on a timely manner. So that's a great thing that you all are doing as a DBA.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, let's talk a bit about your blogs, because your blogs are also the thing that is appreciated by many of the users. So as someone like you, you write blogs for dbanudgets.com. So how do you choose the topic, because you have written various kind of blogs there? So how do you choose those topic to write about? Like, is there anything specific that inspired you to write the topics, or how you started writing these kind of blogs?
That's a great question, Sharmit. So, first of all, I would like to thank Kat Killingberg because she was the one who who really encouraged me to start the blog. I had no confidence at all when I was in that situation. It's In 2020 I started my blog. It's not that old. It's just been 4 years, and I have written 65 articles until now. And because of her, I opened up a website on WordPress.com. As you all know, there are many blogs hosted on that platform. So I thought she mentioned that it is a simple platform where you can go ahead and host, and she helped me to host the website called dbanuggets.com. And I would like to give a very big thank you to her. She was my mentor, and without her, I would not have been here. So thank you, Kathy. Regarding how have I started blogging and how I choose the articles, that's a nice question as well. So as you know that I'm a database administrator, I thought like as a database administrator, any software job, right? We have several issues that we have to tackle, and most of us use like 99.99 people uses Google to solve our problems because the problem that you are facing are already the problem somebody would have already faced, and they have a resolution out there who have already blogged about it. So
Agree.
why we need to struggle so much? Google is helping us, right? So um, that actually also interested me, and I thought like every person have a different perspective of explaining things. I mean, the problem that I faced might be explained in 10 different blog posts by different people. The resolution is same, I understand, but resolutions can be also resolved through different ways, right? And the way every blogger explains is in a different way. Some viewers attract to some kind of language, and some other people also attract to some kind of aura of the author. So I thought, like, yeah, I mean, I came to know that very lately after I start blogging because I thought like blogs should be in a certain way, they should be showcased in a certain way. Only some kind of blogs will be read, and not all the blogs are appreciated. I was going through all of the stuff, right? Through the journey, I understood that it's not like that. I mean, even very little error that you face, you might think that in your mind, you might think that is a very simple error. But think about the people who just started their career, right? It might be a very difficult situation for them to resolve that issue. So you are focusing on those people as well as experts. Like, do not think anybody is an expert. Nobody is expert, right? It's a
Right.
process. It's an ocean. It's an ocean. Any product is an ocean. I mean, we are not the designers of that product. We are just the users. So we are always learning. Features are always getting released. So no matter even if it's a small thing that you're fixing, do not feel like down of writing that out as a blog post. Just do it. I mean, in my journey of these 65 articles since like 4 years, I whatever I thought like this blog post doesn't get more views.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you from my heart, that blog post will be the blockbuster of that entire month.
Yeah.
Because I thought that it won't show up, but then people are appreciating it because the way of like you simplifying the stuff, that's what they like. Not about
Yes.
the resolution itself, but how you are approaching to that issue and how you are explaining things in a very simple way. That's what get people get attracted to. And one more thing I would like to shamelessly say that I did like I did many mistakes while doing this blogging. I sounded like either other people while I was reading at other greater bloggers. I sounded like them because I thought I should be that way. Maybe I have to sound that way so that other people can understand. But that's not the situation. I have gone through some hard times as well where people approach me and said like, "You are sounding like the other person." Like maybe you have read his blog post or blog post and maybe you got that information from there, but it's not that. I have no clue how to do that process. I have to learn it in a hard way. um, and by learning through this process you will understand that you have your own voice.
Yes.
That's what matters. And nobody can say that your voice doesn't matter because you're just a human being just like them, right? So everybody has a voice, and appreciate that voice first. We need to appreciate that voice,
Yes.
and so that other people will appreciate you. Everything matters, and every little error matters, and every little blog post matters. So if you are trying to create a blog post upon yourself, please do not hesitate, just go ahead and get started. Every little thing matters.
Yes, and I also completely agree with one point. You just mentioned that sometimes we post the blog and we think that it is not that much of beneficial. It might not be beneficial for others. Same thing I also witnessed, like when I release one video, maybe any particular tutorial. So sometimes I feel that it's a easy topic. Maybe others will not watch it, but the same video got the most viewed video among all the playlists. So this is something that I can also relate, that yes, sometimes we are not sure that whether this is the topic that everyone wants to see or read. So that's the one thing.
Yep, sure.
Okay. All right. So let's talk a bit about your community involvement, because you have been actively involved in various communities. So, like you are involved in great initiatives as well, such as being an organizer for the Microsoft Data and AI South Florida user group, Data TGIF, and Data Platform Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Virtual Group. Not only this, you are also one of the organizer for Future Data Driven Summit and Cloud Data Driven User Group, as well as DEI steering committee member for the past data community. And I'm sure like there are many other things also there. So what led you to get involved with these kind of communities to contribute in this area?
uh, so couple of years ago I had gone through a lot of challenges in my life, professional life. I had been gone through harassment in my previous company, not current company, but previous company, and I have been there for at least like 5 years. M- because I thought like if I come outside of that, I do not have any other life, or I will not get job because that environment, the toxic environment, has removed all my confidence levels. So I went through the lowest level of my life at the time, and I had no way out. So that's when I started blog post. That's when I started blog actually. And through that, I started speaking. So from speaking, I started also speaking about my challenge because knowing that you are going through the hard time in your life is one thing, but how are you standing up for yourself? Because you just can't ask help to other people to stand up for you when you can't stand up for yourself. I did that. I asked help, nobody responded. Company, HR didn't respond. Other people outside didn't respond. Apart from your family, there is nobody to respond.
Correct.
So I thought like, how can I ask these people to support me when I don't support myself? So I thought like, that's it. I'm done with all that. Like I'm done with being in the darkness more. I can't be in this mode all the time. And I decided to stand up for myself. I did not fight against everybody. Right. What I did, like I stood up for myself and I said like, yes, let's build it. I know that I lose all my confidence, but let's build it right now. Let's me stand up and do one step at a time, just one step at a time. I don't even want to see far away because I can't see. My vision is so blurred that I can't see. I'm in the darkness, right? So I thought like one little step at a time, and I started a blog post. I started speaking, and through that process, people asked me. They looked at what I was doing, and they asked me if I could. be one of the organizers for the user groups. And um, I thought like my voice need to be heard, and not only it's not about ego that I have a story I have to share. It's me, me, me. It's not that. I wanted to be a voice for the other women who are facing the same thing in the work
Yes.
locations, in the toxic environment. So I thought like not I did not had a voice. I was like struggling, right? I know that very well that I understood that I realized that there are many other women who are also facing the same thing, but they do
Yes.
not have a voice. So I thought like let me be that voice and let me express what happened to me so that other women will understand what's going on, and whether they are also facing this, and they know that if at all I could let the other women know that they are not alone, I think that's a number one step. That's not a success because it's a very unfortunate that women are in that location. It's not it's not good. That is not a success that I am letting them know that they're not alone. That is just a first step that they can't feel alone because there are several other women facing the same thing. But what we can do from there, it's about like it's about like telling other people how they can be ally, putting the information out there, how women face this and how they can't share, so how there can be allies, how everyone can be an ally. So I started speaking at women in technology events, and that's how I also got invited to be one of the DEI user group
Okay.
organizer as well. And regarding the Summit, Professional Association of SQL Server, they also invited me to be one of their DEI committee members. I have been serving them for at least couple of years. So we will make sure that there is diversity across the board in in the community of the in the summit, all the people coming across from across different world, because that's a biggest summit for the professional association of SQL
Mhm.
Server in the United States. It's the number one summit. And
Okay.
so our initiative, like as a committee member, we let we let some of the things and like we let the people who host the past summit, who is Redgate, we let them know like what can be done to improve the diversity at the summit, or what can be done um, to invite more people to also the speakers, right, from different parts of the world.
Yes.
It's all about diversity, equity, inclusion, making sure we have that in the some in this summit. So those are all the initiatives, and what drove me is this like is this the struggles that I faced. From there I understood that nobody can stand up for myself. I stood up for myself, and then from there, one step at a time, and in the process itself, while doing the work, people recognized what I was doing because I was doing with a good intention, and
Yes.
they recognized, and then they asked me to be part of this all the initiatives, which is again volunteering, which has become a part of my life. And I am loving what I'm doing because there is a meaning to it.
Yes. Okay. All right. And during my research, like I also found one interesting tagline of your LinkedIn profile, that is exploring life within. It looks like a great philosophy that goes behind this line. So could you please tell a bit about why the philosophy, like this philosophy, and why it is important to any person to know about themselves, especially people in technology?
Uh, yeah, thank you so much for asking that question. Yeah, there is a reason why I put that tagline, exploring life within, because I was thinking life is out there, outside of myself, and I was searching for the peace. Um, as you move along, as you have goals in your life, you believe that a certain goal that you if you can reach, if you can work very hard and reach, that will give you the peace that can fulfill you completely. And you always feel like you are only half, and there is some other half out there outside of you, and you need to somehow get that other half to fulfill you. But through a lot of understanding in life, I'm telling you, there is no other half, because you are already complete within yourself. No goal can fulfill you, because once you achieve that goal, within fraction of seconds, you'll realize that that's not enough. There is something else you need to achieve. And there is no end to all of this. I am telling you with a proof, because I thought I was not complete. I will be complete once I achieve something, because I lost the confidence. I need this drive to stand up for myself. I'm saying it's not a bad thing. I'm not saying that. It's a
Mhm.
good thing that you have a drive in your life, but that doesn't have to go with that pressure of like once you achieve that, it will complete you. I was in that situation. What I thought was I did not have confidence. I'm a zero right now. When I achieve this, when I do better, when people recognize me, when I get this something like called MVP award because I
Mhm.
worked for it. I'm telling shamelessly, I'm telling I worked for it and I got it. I thought like once I get that art, that will fulfill me because I do not have confidence. Now I got confidence. Yes, I'm good right now. It won't work that way.
Yes.
Within 10, within 30 minutes, I was on the cloud nine. I called everyone. I said like I got this award. I worked for myself. I helped other people and they Microsoft recognized me. But that only was there, the happiness 30 minutes. After
Correct.
30 minutes, I just went back to square zero. That's the moment of time I realized it's not out there. There is nothing out there that fulfill you because you're already complete. But
Yes.
to realize that situation, it will take years for many people. Some people, most of the people will not recognize that all their life. They will die without recognizing this. So in this platform, on this podcast, I'm letting everybody know out there, doesn't depend if you are an IT professional or not, shall fulfill you because you are already complete. I'm not saying to be lazy. I'm not saying like do not put goals. Understanding you are already complete doesn't stop you from having goals. That is
Mhm.
what I'm saying. But do not start from that lack that you are incomplete and getting a goal and having that goal will fulfill you. It will not fulfill you. No
Agree.
matter if you get the Guinness Book of World Record, that will also feel like now I got one Guinness Book of World Record. Now why am I feeling this low? Why am I feeling this void inside me? Maybe I have to get another record. I have to break my own record. Having drive is totally different from you being fulfilled. Just start your journey having those goals with already full with complete fulfillment of yourself, right? Now how did I understand this?
Mhm.
Through personal experience is one phase, but I was thinking I'm crazy to think this way, right? So I was searching everywhere why I'm having all these thoughts, like who am I, like what is this thought? And then I searched in YouTube. Of course we search everywhere, right? Social media and like YouTube. What
Yeah.
is a thought? So what is a thought took me to a wonderful philosopher known Jiddu Krishnamurti.
Mhm.
If you're not heard about him, you can search it on Google or YouTube. So I found like what is a thought? That's when my journey started as a philosophical way. Then I realized that it's all in our mind. Whatever your mind is saying, you do not trust it because it's your mind is totally different and you are different. Your mind will always say you are not enough, you are a such a terrible person in this world and you need to do something out there to be an okay person. But that's not true. Do not believe your brain because the thing that is actually observing the thought itself is you, which is like that is the true nature of you. The inside of you, there is something that is observing everything. It is even observing those negative thoughts. Now what is observing? That is your true self, not your thought, because thought is an object. So it's a really great way to know yourself. If you know yourself, you can understand the world better, because if you do not understand yourself, all the things that you see is completely negative because your mind is so occupied seeing negative in everything, right? So do not trust your thoughts.
Mhm.
Trust the observer, which is observing those thoughts, because that is your true nature. And if you want to know more, there is a lot of philosophy out there. I follow Jiddu Krishnamurti, I follow Ramana Maharshi. You can search through them. Like this is not like what is she even talking about in the podcast? She's talking about philosophy. No, this is your life. I
Correct.
mean, in that life, you have these awards, you have these goals. Now, what are these goals? You need to go scratch zero and look at yourself and understand yourself, know what those thoughts are, and know who you are as a true nature. What is your true nature? That's when your journey will start. Actual journey will start. And know this before your life ends, because we live only
Agree.
for like 60 to 70 years. Do not. do not die without knowing this. That is the only thing I would like to convey on this platform.
All right. Thank you so much for explaining all these things in detail. And I'm pretty much sure that not only those person like who are from IT background, but others are also like learn a lot from this kind of explanation that you just gave here. All right. So, like Deepthi, like there are many things that we can discuss in this podcast. But just because of the limitation of time, I would like to ask my last question, and it is related to the mentorship. So, throughout your career, like, could you share the names of any colleagues or maybe the peers with whom you have collaborated closely, maybe for the blog or for your professional work, and who have influenced your work in a ways that made it more enjoyable for you and impactful for you.
Thank you so much for asking that question. I really have to give kudos to many, many people out there because this is a very big community. But
Yes.
I have to start with Kathy Kellingberg, like I mentioned. Because of
Yes.
her, I started my journey. So, Kathy Kellingberg and Remerit is a program manager at that point in time for the MVP award. So, she have encouraged me on everything, actually, everything. If I made a mistake, she was like, you did a mistake, you need to correct that. I love that part because people, there are several people out there who cheer you up even when they don't like you. But Remerit is not that. She will let you know, like if you do a mistake, she will let you know, not with a judging voice, but she truly want you to succeed. So
Yes.
thank you, Ree. Thank you, Ree, for that. And Randolph West, he's an amazing person. He's my mentor. He lives in Canada, and he was one of the important person in my life because when I was like square zero, when I mentioned, when I have nothing to lose, I already lost everything. He was the one who told me like, don't even talk about that. There is nothing happened to you, Deepthi. Nothing happened to you. You have so much life in you. Like you have, like we are looking out for you. And that single statement has given me so much strength in my life because at that point in time, I do not have philosophy with me. I have Randolph West with me. So thank you, Randolph, for that. And couple of more people who was there with me since the beginning of my career, Chris Woods. Thank you so much. You have been there with me in my darkest moments and brightest moments. So you are like a father to me. Thank you so much, Chris Woods. And I would like to also thank Gregor Sati, who nominated me for the MVP program.
Yeah.
He did not know anything about me, but purely by looking at what I was doing, purely on that, he decided to nominate me. And he came to know about me. He talked to me, and thank you so much for recognizing my effort, Gregor. I will make sure I continue to do that. And one of my best friends, known Kai Sauter. Thank you so much, Kai, for being with me in every single step of my career. So thank you so much. We will be good friends for life. And I would like to also thank Kevin Klein because Kevin Klein was the number one person who actually helped me through my first presentation ever. I used all of his content. He was like
Mhm.
such an amazing person to let me know, like, hey, Deepthi, not only this, use this. And he was like, he was there with me to give all the resources. He never felt like, oh my God, you are using my stuff. No, he helped me like, glad you are using this and glad like my content is actually helping you to start your journey. That is a that's what the great personalities come from,
Yes.
right? So thank you so much, Kevin Klein, for that. And Jeff Lonucci, finally, I would like to also thank Jeff Lonucci. He was also observing me all the way from the beginning till now. He was like, he's like a positive light everywhere for everyone. So thank you, Jeff, for um, doing that for everyone, right? You have such a great heart. And I would like to thank all of the other people who have encouraged me and helped me because not in the way of like me achieving whatever it is. Like I am in a place right now, like none of those resonate with me anymore. But these all people purely being there for you and observing you just for the way you are is something like unimaginable because there are very less people out there like this, and these wonderful people made a lot of difference in my life. And I hope I'll carry this aura from these people and maybe I'll spread out around to the world. So thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much, Deepthi, for joining this podcast and for sharing your expertise with all of us. I hope you also enjoyed the discussion. It was very nice talking with you and to learn about your journey. Like, it was really very inspiring journey for all of us. So thank you once again for being a part of the show.
Thank you so much, Sharmit, for having me.